A penthouse sold in 12 minutes. Emirates just announced record passenger numbers. Construction cranes fill every skyline view. The population just hit 3.9 million, the fastest growth rate in the city's entire history. On paper, Dubai has never looked better. So tell me, why are thousands of expat families, professionals, teachers, nurses, engineers quietly coordinating their departure through private WhatsApp groups? No noise, no press conferences, no permission asked from anyone. There's one group whose name says everything. Dubai Exit Plan 2025. In January, it had 80 members. 6 months later, 3,000. This isn't coincidence. This isn't impulse. This is mathematics, and mathematics never lies. What you're about to hear is the reality Dubai's authorities would rather you never found out. To understand the scale of what's happening, you have to remember what made Dubai so extraordinary in the first place. Not for the ultra-wealthy, they've always found their paradise here. But for the international middle class that chose this emirate as their adopted home? From 2010 to 2020, Dubai offered something genuinely unique in the world. Tax-free income, accessible luxury, remarkable safety, and a cosmopolitanism that almost no other city on earth could match. A teacher earning $4,000 a month could afford a 2-bedroom apartment in Dubai Marina, drive a decent car, and enjoy weekend brunch with friends from 12 different countries. An engineer with a young family could enroll the kids in an international school while still saving for the future. Neighborhoods like JLT, The Greens, and Discovery Gardens became real cultural melting pots. Filipino nurses lived side by side with British teachers and Indian developers. Korean families shopped at the same markets as French and Nigerian ones. That was Dubai's great promise to offer middle-income professionals a superior lifestyle, one they could never have afforded back home. That era didn't last. And what came next would change everything. Coming out of the pandemic, Dubai made a choice. A clear, deliberate, strategic choice. The city repositioned itself no longer as a destination for the international middle class, but as a sanctuary for the ultra-wealthy and high-spending digital nomads looking to escape restrictions back home. The consequences were immediate and brutal. Rents exploded 40 to 50%, not over years, over months. An apartment in JLT renting for 60,000 dirhams a year in 2021 was going for 90,000 dirhams by mid-2022. Landlords found a loophole in the RERA rent control regulations. The rules theoretically cap annual increases at 20%, but all a landlord had to do was wait for lease renewal, then hit tenants with the maximum allowed hike in one single shot. Tenants faced a choice that wasn't really a choice at all: pay or leave. Then came the final blow for families. International schools, essential for expat children whose parents don't plan to settle permanently, started raising fees 15 to 20% every single year. A British school charging 45,000 dirhams for primary school fees in 2019 was charging 70,000 dirhams a few years later. And through all of it, salaries stayed perfectly, absolutely frozen. The city was thriving, records were falling, hotels were full. And the very people making all of that possible were being mathematically priced out of the city they lived in. Let's put the numbers on the table, because the numbers are brutal. The Mercer 2024 Cost of Living Index now ranks Dubai the 15th most expensive city in the world, up 23 positions in just 3 years. Dubai now sits above London, Los Angeles, and Amsterdam. But here's the critical difference. London, Los Angeles, and Amsterdam have salaries that match their cost of living. Dubai doesn't. Rents have climbed 64% since the pre-pandemic period. The second quarter of 2024 recorded an annual rent increase of 19%, marking the 14th consecutive quarter of uninterrupted growth. Read that again. 14 quarters, 3.5 years. No pause, no correction, no mercy. A 1-bedroom apartment in a mid-range area like Business Bay now costs 90,000 dirhams a year. That's roughly $2,500 a month, nearly 60% of the average teacher's monthly take-home pay. Financial experts recommend spending no more than 30% of your income on housing. In Dubai, the reality sits at double that threshold. And salaries through all of this? Data across 5 major employment sectors shows 63% of middle-level professionals received 0 salary increases in 2024. While inflation was running at 7.2%, the projected average salary rise for 2025 across the Emirates? 0%. A salary from 2020 would need to be $7,800 today just to maintain the exact same standard of living. That gap doesn't exist anywhere. It's coming from nowhere. What made all of this unbearable wasn't just the math, it was the silence surrounding it. No official announcements, no public acknowledgement of the problem. Authorities kept publishing triumphant press releases about record economic growth, while entire families were packing boxes in apartments they could no longer afford. An engineer who gets a 5,000 dirham bonus while his annual rent just went up 20,000 dirhams isn't receiving help. He's receiving a message: you're no longer a priority here. The contradiction became impossible to ignore. A city that marketed itself on international inclusivity was quietly, methodically, financially excluding the very people it once welcomed with open arms. And Dubai's expat community is global, connected, and vocal. The word is spreading in ways that no official tourism campaign can counteract. On LinkedIn posts, Reddit threads, Facebook groups, and WhatsApp communities, the message is the same everywhere. Dubai has changed, and not for the better. The pipeline of skilled international talent that once arrived with excitement and optimism is becoming cautious. Some are choosing alternatives from the start. Others are accepting Dubai postings on shorter timelines, with exit strategies already mapped out before they even unpack. This departure isn't just a statistic. It's tearing apart a social fabric decades in the making. One private healthcare network lost 28% of its nursing staff in a single quarter. The reason cited most often in exit interviews? Housing costs. Healthcare workers who spent years building critical, specialized skills are choosing to deploy those skills somewhere else, somewhere that can still offer what Dubai can no longer guarantee: a decent life. Mid-year school dropout rates at international schools are hitting 15 to 20%. In some institutions, even higher. Teachers describe entire classrooms changing composition over a single semester. Children losing friends, rebuilding bonds, until the next departure comes around. The commercial landscape is transforming alongside it. Affordable family restaurants, the ones you'd go to on a Tuesday without a special occasion, have been bought out, renovated, repositioned. In their place, fine dining concepts at 200 dirhams a head, luxury cocktail bars, culinary experiences built for wealthy tourists, neighborhood spaces converting into high-end boutiques. Slowly, invisibly, the city that prided itself on accessibility is becoming a permanent showroom. Built for visitors, not residents. While Dubai is pushing out its middle class, its neighbors are opening the door wide. Saudi Arabia, driven by its Vision 2030 agenda, is actively recruiting from Dubai's talent pool with competitive packages that include housing allowances, precisely the benefits Dubai's employers have been eliminating. Riyadh's cost of living sits 30 to 48% below Dubai's. Bahrain is 25% cheaper, with rents nearly 65% lower. Oman is over 26% cheaper overall, with rents 71% lower. The painful irony? Dubai built an entire generation of high-quality international professionals, and its neighbors are now the ones directly benefiting from them. Even within the Emirates themselves, Ajman, the modest, unpretentious neighboring emirate, saw its lease contract surge 50% in 2024. Not because people suddenly love Ajman, because tens of thousands of expats would rather drive an hour each morning than keep paying Dubai rents. That's not ordinary geographical mobility. That's a vote of no confidence, written in lease contracts and morning commutes. And on the global stage, Dubai isn't just competing with Riyadh anymore. It's competing with the entire world. Singapore's employment pass gets approved in 3 weeks. A Portugal fiscal residency visa takes 6 months. Dubai's golden visa can take up to 15 months. In a world where talent moves fast, that gap is a liability. Economists have a name for what's unfolding here: the Monaco effect. Monaco is beautiful. Monaco is luxurious. Monaco is also a city where no one from the middle class can actually live. Teachers commute from Nice. Nurses cross the border every morning for the day shift and go home every evening to housing they can actually afford. Monaco is a gleaming showpiece inhabited by the ultra-wealthy and maintained by essential workers who can no longer live there. Dubai is becoming Monaco at metropolitan scale. And the fundamental problem with that model isn't just a matter of social fairness. It's a question of functional survival. When you push out your middle class, you're not just pushing out families. You're pushing out institutional memory, social resilience, the people who know how to fix what's broken, heal what's sick, teach the next generation. A specialist doctor with 20 years of experience. A teacher who knows all 120 of her students by name. An engineer who understands in his bones how a system he personally built actually functions. Once those people are gone, they leave a void. And that void cannot be filled with property investments or another luxury mall opening. Here's where things stand. Dubai welcomed approximately 6,700 millionaires in 2024, the world's #1 destination for millionaire migration. Its population keeps growing. The towers keep rising. The records keep falling. But the composition of that population is changing radically. Those leaving are skilled professionals, experienced teachers, seasoned healthcare workers, engineers with 15 years on the ground. Those arriving are either ultra-wealthy, seeking a tax haven, or lower-skilled labor willing to accept conditions the previous generation of expats is no longer prepared to tolerate. Dubai isn't dying. Too many resources, too much infrastructure, too much ambition for that. But Dubai's dream is being redefined. By whom and for whom? The answer the official statistics refuse to state clearly is written right there in the data. For some, not for others. The most expensive loss isn't the rent revenue. It isn't even the talent drain. The most expensive loss is the argument that Dubai is different, fairer, more open, more meritocratic than the places these expats came from. That argument is what made Dubai magnetic. And that argument is what's being quietly dismantled, one packed suitcase at a time. They didn't leave with drama. They didn't march in the streets. They just closed the door quietly behind them. And that door, Dubai doesn't yet fully understand what it just let walk away with it. If this story hit home, smash that like button and subscribe. We've got a lot more to uncover. And drop a comment. Have you seen something like this playing out in your own city? Because the Dubai phenomenon might not be as isolated as you think.